You have been taught to work for money, to earn, to strive, to wait. But I tell you, what you strive for, you push away. What you chase, you declare you do not already possess. The secret has never been in the numbers, nor the odds, nor the draw. The secret is not in the ticket you hold, but in the state you assume before you even play. You have been lied to, not by men, but by the voice within you that whispered you were unworthy of sudden, effortless abundance. And that lie has become your God. You were not born to labor under probability. You were not made to bow before systems, statistics, or signs. You are not a beggar. You are the Word made flesh. And what you decree within yourself is what the outer world must kneel and fulfill. The lottery is not a game. It is a mirror, a divine trick to reveal who still lives in doubt and who walks as the I am. You are not here to win. You are here to remember that you already have. The numbers are only symbols. They are not the cause, they are the echo of your state. I did not try to hide this formula, but the outer man could not hear it. He looked for steps, rituals, affirmations. He waited for signs in the sky or favor from some higher being, never realizing that the highest being was already speaking from the deep within. You did not come here to receive tips. You came to be transformed. And that transformation does not begin when the money comes. It begins when you stop believing that you are someone it must arrive to. You are not separate from wealth. You are not a servant hoping for inheritance. You are the inheritance itself, pretending to be poor, pretending to be late, pretending to still be hoping. But I tell you, the moment you assume not merely desire, but assume that it is yours, the machinery of this world begins to reorganize itself around that silent decree. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must walk as one who has already received. And you must do it now, not after the ticket is drawn, not after you are convinced, but now. For all creation responds not to your prayers, but to your position. Stop asking, stop doubting, stop postponing your miracle by rehearsing your lack. You have already declared yourself either winner or victim in the silence of your heart, and life is only echoing back the frequency you never knew you were broadcasting. Tonight, you will choose again, but not with fear, not with superstition, and not with a hope that trembles in the dark. You will choose as God chooses, in stillness, with certainty, as if the thing already is. This is not magic. It is not manipulation. It is the eternal law of assumption, and it is always working, whether you believe in it or not. So I say to you, forget what the world told you about odds. Forget what your past told you about patterns. Forget the lie that something must happen outside for something to change inside. It is reversed, and it has always been reversed. All things proceed from within. When you shift, the world must bend. When you remember, the illusion of chance dissolves. When you speak, I am, the universe obeys, even in silence. Especially in silence. This is not about money, it never has been. This is about reclaiming your authority over the seen by mastering the unseen. This is about walking into your room tonight, closing the door and becoming the thing so completely, so vividly, so unshakably, that the outer world has no choice but to deliver what your inner man already knows is his. Are you ready? Then let the lie die. Let the waiting end. Let the outer man be still. The formula is not a secret, it is a vibration, and you are the voice that activates it. You have not been poor because the world withheld from you. You have been poor because you believed in the world more than you believed in yourself. You have knelt before appearances. You have made your senses your master. You have waited for proof before allowing yourself to feel the thing as done, and in doing so, you have rejected the only doorway through which creation flows. For creation never begins on the outside. It never waits for conditions. It answers only to states, and your state has been denial. You have watched others win, and you said, why not me? And I say to you, because you still imagine yourself as one who must ask, rather than one who already receives. You say you believe in manifestation, but your inner speech tells a different story. You ask with your lips, but in the silence, you rehearse lack. You fantasize about wealth, but fall asleep in fear. You affirm, but you do not assume. You hope, but you do not inhabit. This is the fracture. This is the gap between what you think you believe and what your inner man actually holds as real. And it is from this gap that all delay is born. For what you truly assume, not with effort, but with ease, not with struggle, but with surrender, becomes inevitable. It does not need to be earned. It does not need to be fought for. It becomes you, and the world merely reflects. But the world has trained you to doubt your own creative center. You were taught that hard work produces wealth, that effort is virtue, and that sudden abundance is suspicious. And so even when your heart leapt at the thought of instant riches, your subconscious recoiled. It can't be that easy, it whispered. I am not lucky. And so the gate slammed shut, not because it was ever locked, but because you turned the key of assumption the wrong direction. Do you see now why nothing changes? You have not lost because the formula doesn't work. You have lost because you haven't used it. You dip your toe into belief and yank it back when the water feels too still. You imagine what you want and then measure it against what you currently have. That is not faith. That is betrayal of the law. You say, I am ready, but your feelings speak, I am not yet worthy. And I say to you now, until you break this unconscious covenant with lack, until you sever the pact your inner man has made with delay, you will continue to circle the same desert of hope and disappointment. Not because the law failed you, but because you have not yet fully inhabited the state that fulfills the law. What is the state of the winner? It is not euphoria. It is not shock. It is not trembling. It is quiet knowing. It is the sacred breath that exhales. Of course it was me. The real winner does not scream. He remembers. She does not beg. She receives. The frequency of wealth is stillness in motion, containment without contraction. And if you are still oscillating between belief and disbelief, if your assumption is still leaking out through fear, then the womb cannot conceive. This is not a punishment. It is precision. The law does not mock. It does not tease. It waits, and it mirrors, and it serves. The moment you inhabit the state fully and without contradiction, the outer must bend. For there is no lottery outside of the inner man. There is no chance where consciousness reigns. So tonight, you must make a choice, not whether or not to try, but whether or not to finally be. The one who wins is the one who no longer tries, the one who assumes, the one who closes the door, steps into the invisible, and says without sound, "It is already mine," and then lives as though the world could never convince them otherwise. You do not need more evidence. You need more inner agreement. You do not need a sign. You need alignment. And that alignment begins the moment you stop living from desire and start living from fulfillment. You are not here to be worthy. You are here to be willing. Willing to let the outer world follow the inner vibration without needing to ask how or when. The harvest comes to the one who lives as if the seed has already taken root. And if tonight you will dare to assume, dare to feel, dare to let go of the one who always waits, you will see that life is not random, that winning is not rare, and that your fortune has been waiting for your permission to arrive. The world tells you there are rules, fixed odds, external powers. It teaches you that your only hope is to try harder, work smarter, or wait longer. But I tell you now, none of that creates. Nothing outside of you has ever held the key. For the only law that governs the unfolding of your life is this: assumption hardens into fact. What you believe yourself to be is what this world must express. You think the lottery is a drawing of numbers. I say the lottery is a mirror of states. The ticket in your hand is not a tool, it is a test. It reveals whether you have assumed the frequency of wealth or still carry the vibration of want. And unless you understand this mystery, you will repeat the same outer failures while calling them fate. Hear me, there is no luck. There is only law, and the law responds not to your words, not to your effort, but to the nature of your being. The secret formula I speak of is no secret at all. It is the law of reversibility. That which you would feel after the win, you must feel before. And in doing so, you cause the effect. For every outer manifestation is simply the echo of an inner arrangement. You think the numbers matter. I say they are shadows, symbols of your inner state. The one who wins is not the one who guesses correctly. It is the one who already feels himself in possession before the number is even drawn. The numbers arrange themselves to reflect the state already accepted. What you call coincidence, I call obedience. The world obeys your assumption so perfectly, so relentlessly, that it will disguise it as chance, so you never suspect your own power. I did not come to teach you how to control the world. I came to reveal that you already do. You do not need to ask for anything, for the asking implies separation. You need only claim. You need only assume. For I am is the center of all creation, not your name, not your past, not your job or your income, but the silent awareness declaring I am. Whatever you affix to it becomes your law, your path, your experience. I am poor, and you prove it. I am waiting, and you prolong it. I am chosen, and the heavens themselves align to reflect it. So let me speak the sacred reversal. You do not win the lottery and then feel wealthy. You feel wealthy, and the lottery must appear to justify the inner state. The outer must match the inner. That is law. There is no alternative. But it must be a true assumption, not a hopeful rehearsal. It must be lived, not whispered, felt, not repeated. It must be taken into the secret place of the Most High, into the deep silence of your inner sanctuary, and claimed as already done. You must walk as the one who has already received. You must sleep in it, speak from it, breathe it, not as fantasy, as fact. For what you feel in imagination is more real than what you touch in flesh. Imagination is not pretend. Imagination is the womb of all creation. You do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you accept. What you dwell upon within becomes law without. This is not a metaphor. This is not poetry. This is the very code of reality. The unseen becomes seen through feeling. The wish fulfilled is not an outcome, it is a dwelling place. And when you live there, the world cannot resist you. But it will delay for as long as you delay. It will resist for as long as you doubt. For the world is not your enemy. It is your mirror. It is your divine servant, answering only to the command of your inner man. Now hear this and hear it deep. I am the cause of all. I do not wait for luck. I do not hope for signs. I speak the word and it becomes flesh. I walk in the assumption and it becomes fact. I turn within and the world bends without. There is no power above me, for I and the Father are one. The Father is your unconditioned awareness. The Son is your present assumption, and these two are always creating. So if you ask me for the secret formula, I say this: assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Remain there. Do not waver. Do not explain. Do not seek confirmation. Walk as if it were already true, and the world will prove it to you. You are not here to react. You are here to remember, and what you remember within becomes what you meet without. The moment you no longer need to win, you will. The moment you stop asking how, the path will reveal itself. The moment you stop rehearsing lack and begin resting in fullness, the numbers will appear, not as gifts, but as echoes, not as miracles, but as inevitabilities. For what you assume with feeling, in stillness, in silence, in faith, that is the thing the world must reflect. It cannot do otherwise. So now I ask you, will you use it tonight, not in theory, not with partial belief, but with the totality of your inner focus? Will you take this holy formula into the chamber of self and close the door behind you? For that is where it must begin. That is where the unseen becomes flesh, not in front of the television, not at the counter where you check your numbers, but within, where the true numbers are drawn, by you, for you, from you. The outer lottery is a symbol, the inner feeling is the cause, and the only question is, will you live from it before it appears? Come now, let me show you how. Step into the silence, not a forced silence, but a sacred one, a silence that forgets the world and remembers the self. Close the door, not just of your room, but of your mind. Let no doubt enter, let no fear speak, and let no voice be louder than the one you choose to believe. That voice is not shouting, it is not dramatic, it is quiet, but eternal. And it says only one thing: I am. Now, from this stillness, see yourself, not from behind, not as if watching, Be yourself, having already received. Do not picture the win. Embody it. Do not hope. Assume. Choose one scene, one natural, plausible, vivid moment that implies the wish is fulfilled. Let it be short, let it be clear, and let it be felt. Perhaps it is the weight of the ticket in your hand, numbers drawn and matched. Perhaps it is the voice of your closest friend, screaming with disbelief. Perhaps it is the screen glowing with your bank balance now impossibly full. It does not matter what it is, it only matters that you feel its reality. Tonight, you must see with the eyes behind the eyes. You must feel with the heart that creates. Let the scene loop. Let the vibration of "it is done" overtake all thought. Breathe from it, relax into it, and the moment it becomes realer than the outer world, you have entered the state. Stay there. This is the key so many miss. They visit the state, they do not live in it. But you must dwell there. You must become so saturated in the feeling that when you open your eyes, the outer world feels like a memory, and the inner scene feels like the only truth. That is assumption. That is the law. That is the point of no return. Now hold. Resist the temptation to look for confirmation, to ask when, to wonder how. The seed planted in the unseen will not bloom by being dug up every morning. Contain your frequency. Do not let it leak through doubt or discussion. Do not seek to explain your miracle to those still ruled by sight. Let your silence protect the seed. Go to sleep tonight, not as one who is hoping, but as one who has already received. Let your inner man fall into slumber with the memory of the win, not the desire for it. Sleep in the feeling, and you will rise in its world. And when the day begins again, you walk as the winner, not by changing your words, but by remaining in the vibration. Let every movement carry the stillness of one who knows. Let your breath become the proof. Let your inner speech be one long prayer of thank you, not a gratitude for what might happen, but for what already is. The numbers, they will align. The event, it will bend to your assumption. The outer question mark, it cannot resist the inner, and it is not your task to watch the world shift. It is your task to remain unchanged while it does. You do not chase the prize. You do not beg the universe. You do not rehearse your fears. You hold the feeling. You breathe the assumption. You walk in the state, and the world conforms. Do this without strain. Do this without desperation. For if your frequency is urgency, you will attract more delay. But if your frequency is calm possession, life must obey. Containment is your power. The more still you are, the more the world must move. Understand this. Manifestation is not performance. It is identity. You do not do the ritual to become the winner. You are the winner, and everything you do flows from that truth. So tonight, you do not need to visualize perfectly. You need only feel truthfully. You do not need to get every detail right. You need only dwell in the end. That end is a frequency. That frequency is a vibration, and that vibration is your dominion. You are not waiting for permission. You are not waiting for numbers. You are not waiting for a breakthrough. You are waiting for nothing, because in truth, it is done. And when you move as if it is done, the world begins to remember who you are. The mirror clears, the echo speaks, and the impossible arrives in silence, as if it had always belonged to you, because it has. Now comes the crossing. The old man still whispers. The outer world still looks the same. The numbers have not yet changed, and this is the threshold where most turn back. This is the test, not of strength, but of silence, not of willpower, but of identity. Will you now move as the one who has already received, or will you collapse again into the one who waits? Do not look to the sky. Do not beg the stars to align. The stars were born from the same I am that breathes within you now. The numbers on the lottery ticket are paper reflections of the divine idea already assumed in consciousness. The sequence is not ahead of you. It is behind your eyes, and it will unfold in the exact moment when your inner man no longer doubts, no longer asks, no longer checks, but simply is. You will feel it, not as excitement, but as stillness, a sacred quietness that overtakes you, a strange confidence that needs no explanation. It will feel as though the thing already happened, long ago, and you are only now remembering it. You will walk lighter, you will speak less, you will feel no urgency, because the true shift is not dramatic, it is sovereign, it is the vibration of inevitability. You have become the winner, and the world is now catching up. The old man may knock again, the doubt may return, the feeling may fluctuate, but if you have truly passed through the gate, it will no longer matter, because your response will no longer be to fix it, but to remember who you are. I say to you now, the numbers are irrelevant. The outcome is already imprinted in the silence of your assumption. You do not need to win. You already have. You do not need proof. You are the proof. And when you walk into the world with that energy, the world does not argue. It rearranges. This is not arrogance. This is obedience to the law of I am. The world is not against you. It is a servant of your conviction. It will deliver what you already are, not what you wish to be. So if you remain in the end unmoved, the end must appear, not as miracle, as law. And now I ask you, will you return to the outer man who hopes, or will you remain as the inner man who knows? I have told you these things so that you would no longer wait, so that you would no longer beg life to bless you, but instead remember, you are the blessing, you are the one the numbers bow to, you are the one the odds cannot resist, you are the one reality must obey. Let the outer world be still. Do not seek, do not chase, do not speak. Walk, sleep, breathe, and hold this inner command without sound. It is done. You are no longer who you were. You cannot return to the old self, not now, not after this knowing. The one who waited has been dismissed. The one who begged has vanished. The one who lived from delay has been folded into silence. What remains is you, untouched, unshaken, eternal, the I am. Tonight, you do not visualize, you assume, you do not hope, you inhabit. And when the world tries to reflect the old, you do not react, you do not fight, you remember. Because you have seen the truth. Reality is not ahead of you, it is behind your eyes. You walk now as the one who already holds the winning ticket, not in your hand, but in your being. You go to sleep, not to wait, but to reaffirm. And when you rise tomorrow, you do not check the numbers, you carry the frequency. And that frequency bends reality to you in ways so precise, so poetic, so inevitable. It will feel as if it had no choice but to obey, because it didn't. So now, say nothing, make no declaration, move through this world as if the world must follow your vibration. And if something inside you woke up today, if something old fell away,